From a Boeing 727 that disappears without a trace, to a flight number that seems cursed, in this video, we will talk about the most mysterious plane crashes of all time. Aviator Amelia Earhart already holds many records when she sets out on a round-the-world trip in 1937. After an unsuccessful first attempt in March, she tries again in June with her mechanic Fred Noonan aboard the twin-engine Lockheed Electra. South America, Africa, Asia. The stops multiply until they reach the vicinity of Howland Island, where the plane is lost. The theory of a mechanical failure is generally mentioned. Others, such as the idea that she might have been shot down by the Japanese army, are not substantiated. On October 31, 1999, an Egypt Air Boeing 767 bound for Cairo leaves John F. Kennedy Airport in New York. At 1 o'clock in the morning, it crashes into the Atlantic. The 217 passengers and crew members die. The causes of the accident are still disputed. For American investigators, the accident was caused by the co-pilot. Jamil al-Batouti had just received a reprimand for professional misconduct. An Egypt Air executive, a passenger on the flight, had warned him a few days earlier. The New York-Cairo flight would be his last. He allegedly replied, "This will be the last flight for you too." During the flight, while the pilot gets up to go to the bathroom, the plane's black boxes record al-Batouti saying several times, "I rely on God," before turning off the autopilot and nosediving the plane. However, for Egyptian investigators, the plane crashed due to a simple mechanical failure. Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 was a Lockheed Constellation chartered by the U.S. military that disappeared on March 16, 1962, in the western Pacific Ocean. The 107 men on board are missing and presumed dead. The disappearance of this airliner led to one of the largest air and sea searches in Pacific history. But no trace of the wreckage or debris was ever found. Conspiracy, coincidence? Another military plane from the same company was destroyed under similar circumstances the same day, fueling many conspiracy and sabotage theories in the media. Both planes left the same base around 9:45 a.m. on March 16, 1962, and both encountered difficulties several hours later. The second plane simply crashed in the Aleutian Islands and caught fire. To date, the Flight 739 accident remains the worst involving a Lockheed Constellation. This time, the mystery does not concern a single flight, but several flights bearing the number 191. For 40 years, these planes have been plagued by several problems. For example, American Airlines Flight 191 crashes in 1979. The crash occurs a few minutes after taking off from Chicago's International Airport, killing all 258 passengers and 13 crew members. In 1967, the experimental aircraft X-15 Flight 191 crashes, and in 2012, the captain of JetBlue Airways Flight 191, suffering from a panic attack, must be subdued by passengers. Two other flights also met a tragic end each time by crashing. A Comair plane caused the death of 49 passengers in 2006, and Prime Air Flight 191 crashed in Puerto Rico with its 5 passengers in 1972. Since then, some superstitious airlines have simply retired the flight number 191. On Tuesday, January 30, 1979, a Boeing 707-323C, a cargo plane of the Brazilian company Varig, suddenly disappears from control screens 30 minutes after leaving Narita Airport in Tokyo. The plane was en route to Rio de Janeiro. In its holds, 153 paintings by contemporary artist Manabu Mabe. The works are valued at $1,200,000. Despite 8 days of intense searches in the area, neither the bodies, the wreckage, nor the paintings have ever been found. This 707 cargo plane was under the command of an experienced professional, Captain Gilberto da Silva Araujo. Ironically, the pilot was one of the few survivors of a tragic crash in July 1973 in Orly, France. Marked by this catastrophe, the captain had chosen to never again transport passengers in his career. He should probably have simply stopped flying. On December 5, 1945, U.S. Navy Flight 19 disappears entirely while flying over the northern Bahamas, an area located within the mysterious Bermuda Triangle. A seaplane sent to rescue it also disappears that evening with 13 people on board. These unexplained disappearances have led to the wildest hypotheses. Black holes, extraterrestrials, magnetic fields. The Bermuda Triangle continues to arouse questions today, especially as more than 90 planes in total are said to have disappeared in this area. On May 25, 2003, an American Airlines Boeing 727 operating Flight 844AA from Duanda Airport in Angola was on a runway at the airport where it was being prepared for its next flight. American mechanic Ben Charles Padilla and his Congolese assistant, John Michael Mutantu, were responsible for the work and were on board the aircraft. Mutantu was a simple mechanic and Ben Charles Padilla had absolutely no right to fly the plane. But suddenly, air traffic controllers were stunned to see the plane take off over them and then head towards the Atlantic Ocean. To this day, the plane is still missing. No one has ever known what happened to Boeing 844AA or to Officer Padilla or his assistant Mutantu. Some have speculated that Padilla and Mutantu encountered terrorists hidden on board who took control of the plane and forced them to take it to a secret location. According to another theory, the plane was dismantled in a secret hangar for resale of its parts. Some think the plane was shot down by the Angolan or American army, or that the two technicians took the plane to Tanzania. We will never know for sure where it went. After Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, it is the second largest plane to have disappeared without a trace. On March 8, 2014, a Malaysia Airlines Boeing takes off from Kuala Lumpur with 227 passengers and 12 crew members heading for Beijing. The plane is piloted by Zahari Ahmad Shah, 53, a highly respected captain with 33 years of experience with Malaysia's national airline. His co-pilot is Farak Abdul Hamid, 27. Just before entering Vietnamese airspace, someone sends a final message from the cockpit to Malaysian air traffic control. It is 1:19 a.m. Around 1:30 a.m., radar systems such as the transponder are turned off. However, the aircraft still appears on military radars at 2:15 a.m., changing course towards Malaysia and then towards the Indian Ocean. No trace of the plane was found until July 2015, when a piece of the wing from flight MH370 was found on Reunion Island. This discovery, which raised a huge wave of hope among all those fascinated by this disappearance, left us 6 months later at the same point. Experts still do not know what caused the aircraft's sudden change of course, as neither the crew nor the aircraft's radar systems gave any prior signal, and the weather was clear that night. They do not know if one of the pilots was behind the accident, one of the most likely hypotheses. Zahari was an opposition activist in Malaysia, and Farak had allowed passengers into the cockpit during a recent flight, violating the rules. But nothing in the pilot's past suggests they could have been capable of a collective murder. Air navigation specialists do not know if it was a hijacking or a terrorist attack since there have been no claims. They do not know why the aircraft's radar systems were turned off and by whom. An act that seems to have been deliberate. They still do not know exactly where the aircraft crashed, although the discovery of the wing piece has helped confirm the current search area. We are therefore unfortunately far from finding the black box that would reveal the causes of the accident. That's it. It's already over, but we are far from having covered all the theories that could explain the fate of these planes. So if you have a hypothesis, feel free to post it in the comments. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and share on Facebook and Twitter, and above all, subscribe, because the next video promises to be amazing.